Welcome to Action 242 as we continue to look at the important subject of discipleship. When Jesus came to choose his disciples, he approached them and he didn't simply say, "Believe in me." He didn't say, "Worship me." He said, "Follow me." Jesus is looking for those who will follow him, those who will go where he goes and do what he did. But it's important to understand that being a follower of Jesus isn't simply a slavish copying of his lifestyle or his behavior. It isn't some vain attempt to try and reach the level of perfection that Jesus reached. If I said to you that by your own strength you had to do whatever Jesus did and you had to live his lifestyle, I may as well say you have to fulfill the righteous requirements of the law. It's an impossible standard. Jesus lived the perfect life because he knew that we couldn't. See, following Jesus isn't simply about copying his behavior. Following Jesus is about going where he went. And where he went was to the cross. In John's Gospel, he is asked, "Lord, where are you going?" And Jesus said, "Where I'm going, you can't follow right now, but later you will." And by that he meant this, that we cannot atone for ourselves. We cannot attain our own salvation. But he, going to the cross, attained salvation for us. But now we have to go to the cross. That's where he leads us. He leads us to the cross of Calvary, where we realize that our sin cannot stand, and where we die to self, we die to our rights, we die to our sin, and allow him to live through us. And it's when he lives through us that we live a life that is pleasing to him. It's not about self-effort. It's not about our own abilities. It's about his ability to work through us. As Paul said in Galatians 2:20, "I have been crucified with Christ, and I no longer live, but Christ lives within me." And so as disciples of Jesus Christ, we've got to go actually where we don't want to go, which is to the cross. We have to learn to take up our cross daily. We have to die to self. And as those who are disciples of others, that is the key. We have to bring people to a place where they want to go, where otherwise they would not want to go. The cross is not a pleasant place, but it's a necessary place for us to get to, from which we find real life, real freedom. We cannot be those who shrink back. Christianity is not an easy way of life, but it is the only way of life that makes sense. We need to be a people who are willing to go where Jesus went. "No servant," he said, "is greater than his master." And unless we're willing to take up our cross, we are not worthy of him. Let us be those who live lives worthy of the calling of God, and be those who are willing to lead others to that place as well. And when we do that, we will see not some desperate attempt to try in our own effort to reach some moral standard, but we will see the power of God flow through us, his resurrection power alive and working in his people, not only to transform us from one degree of glory, but to allow us to lead others into greater degrees of glory as well. And when that happens, the world will see what the church is truly capable of.